Hey guys, welcome to Don's Little Hobbies. And today, I think I have a theory as to why Midoriya keeps having these visions. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you remember in Season 2, during the E-Tournament arc, Midoriya was fighting Sinjo, and he saw this weird vision. I'm calling it a vision of these people in the doorway. Okay, and we really didn't get a solid image. He didn't see a solid image, but he did see 9 people in the doorway, or 9 people in the doorway, which is really interesting. And by the way, it's 8 because he's the 9th user of One for All, and it's obvious that those are indeed the previous users of One for All, especially because one of them looked like All Might. So, in the latest chapter of My Hero Academia, again, no spoilers, however, I will just say this, he has another vision. I'm not going to tell you what the vision is, I'm just going to say he does have another vision, and it does include All Might's master. That's all I'm going to give you guys. So no spoilers there, okay? But it's interesting. Why is Midoriya having these visions? Well, a lot of people are going to say it's Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff. He's the chosen one. He's the Avatar. Obviously, his past lives are trying to contact him, or previous One for All users are trying to contact him, trying to tell him something. And I'm not saying that can't be the case. I mean, Horikoshi can do whatever he wants with this story, right? It's his book, but I'm trying to think of an in-universe reason as to why he's having these visions. And I think I figured out why. Now, I am recording this before Chapter 193 comes out. So when Chapter 193 comes out, we might get a different explanation. We might have a real answer to this. However, I'm going to give you guys my theory and see if you guys like it. Okay, so here it is. If you remember, what are quirks exactly? Midoriya has a quirk named One for All, but it is a quirk. What are quirks exactly? Quirks are mutations, according to My Hero Academia, mutations in human development, human evolution in our genetic makeup, our genes, our DNA. So, the real tickets to everybody's quirk in My Hero Academia, including Midoriya's, is DNA. DNA. All Might even says it when he gives it to Midoriya. The key to his powers is in his DNA, which is why Midoriya had to eat the strand of All Might hair. And, yeah, that's just the big ticket. It all has to do with DNA. So, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm trying to think about All for One's quirk in this video, because here's why. All for One and One for All they're very similar. So let me get All for One out of the way now. All for One's quirk, basically, to take somebody's quirk away from them means All for One would have the ability to take away the genetic makeup to create that quirk in somebody's body. Okay? That's basically how All for One would work. And I know that sounds far-fetched, but stay with me, that's what his powers are probably able to do. That's how his quirk probably works. One for All, well, let me go back on All for One real quick. Remember, All for One can also give quirks away. By giving a quirk away, he's obviously must be combining somebody else's DNA with his DNA, whatever quirk he has, with the DNA genetic makeup that activates that quirk, with somebody else, resulting in them having a quirk. However, that doesn't always work with their bodies, which sometimes create no moves. And this is really interesting because it's important, because we even know that, if you remember in Season 2 when All Might is talking to his police friend, his detective friend, his detective friend even is the Nomu, has several different DNAs in him. He has like 4 or 5 different DNAs. And All Might even asks, is he even human anymore? I mean, several different DNAs. The fact that they said DNA, that's important. That means this theory about All Might being able to merge and unconnect the genetic makeup, the genetic DNA for the quark, has to be real. Now, with that said, let's think about One for All. One for All. This is how it was created according to All Might. One for All. Well, All for One was the original quark, and he gave his quark to a quarkless little brother of his, and basically his quarkless little brother ended up actually having a quark. So he has the quark to stockpile power like All for One does, but it combined with the little brother's quark, which is a pretty useless quark to his little brother, but once it merged with this quark, it created One for All. And his quark was the ability to pass on quarks through DNA. By giving his DNA away to somebody, he was able to pass on quarks. And as it's passed on, it obviously gets stronger and stronger. But why does it get stronger and stronger? The reason why is because of the stockpiling power. It's obvious that as it gets passed on, if somebody else has a quark, I'm not saying it takes that quark along with it, but it probably copies the quark, because in DNA copies each other all the time. When cells divide, the DNA is always copied within those cells. So what I'm thinking is, if somebody has a quark, if you gave One for All to somebody who has a quark, let's just take this example because it was even said in My Hero Academia. So if you gave Shoto Todoroki One for All, okay? Now Shoto has One for All and his fire and ice powers. But what happens when he gives his power to somebody else? Would his quirk be given away? Would his quirk be gone? No, and here's why. Because it was part of his DNA. However, One for All would copy Todoroki's quirk and pass it on down to the next person. So somebody else would have One for All, meaning Todoroki's quirk would essentially become a part of One for All. And the way it's passed on, it would have to basically emerge with somebody's quirk, somebody's DNA. And that's where I think Midoriya is having visions, because if you think about it, every person who has One for All, who had One for All, probably their genetic makeup, their DNA, was copied and stored, information-wise, into the quark One for All. And what if, I know this sounds completely far-fetched and completely out there, but what if it wasn't just the quirks that were being copied? I mean, DNA, think about what DNA is. DNA is us. DNA is everything. It's because of your DNA that you look the way you do, you act the way you do. Well, maybe not act the way you do, but DNA, it's the building blocks of life, and it's how we look, the way we do, what we do. It's basically that. So could it copy our personalities? Because obviously it's a part of us. People say maybe our personalities are tied to our DNA, which I don't know how really feasible that is. There's really no scientific evidence for that. But let's just say for a second that One for All doesn't just copy people's DNA, but copies everything about them. And it's now merging with Midoriya. slowly and steadily merging with Midoriya, meaning the longer he has One for All, eventually there will be a day when it completely merges with him. And when it does happen, when it completely merges with them, what if he's able to recall the memories of the past people who had One for All as if they were his own? So I don't think All Might's master or any of the One for All users before are trying to contact Midoriya. But maybe, just maybe, the DNA is merging with Midoriya's DNA, meaning all of the information that came with that DNA, including, of course, the memories of people who came before him, are merging with inside of him. And that's why he keeps having visions. Crazy theory! It's out there. I know I thought of that myself, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who thought of it. But that's the only explanation I have. It's an in-universe explanation. That's the only explanation I have as to why Midoriya could possibly be having visions and how One for All could work. The key is probably in his DNA. With that said, take this with a grain of salt. It's just a theory. This is being recorded before Chapter 193 comes out, so we might get more information in that chapter. We might get more information in the next 10-20 chapters of My Hero Academia. I simply don't know, but this is my explanation as to why, for right now, Midoriya is having these visions of the past. I hope you guys like that theory. Like, share, subscribe for more, and let me know down in the comments below, do you think this is possible? Do you think Midoriya, the only reason why he's having visions, is because of his DNA? And do you think that's how One for All's quirk could actually work? I mean, I said One for All. All for One's quirk could actually work? Could he actually take the genetic makeup away and also merge it with somebody else? Maybe that's how his quirk works. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Bye!